morning, everyone. It is a bright, sunny, beautiful day. It is time to go to school. I got Spanish to get done. After that, gotta work on some scholarships. Gotta go to work at 4. And yeah, feeling good about today. Good day, good vibes. Let's keep this party rolling. Get a nice look of the outside and everything like that. Birds are chirping, the sun is out. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I am late though, so yeah. Gotta get moving. All right, talk to you later. Time to get some personal development on and rolling. Let's get it started. Yeah.
I think that's moving this way too, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I can have a good part of the personal development to add to my video and
Yes.
everything. Like
Yeah.
it's good. It's good.
So I had a couple of different things that I had in mind that I wanted to share, right? I wanted to go back over a system that I used in my experience in life when I was about y'all age and then still use it today. And I mentioned it to y'all before, and I wanted to go into some details with it. But again, as you heard me say, I'm very much a person that likes to pay attention and listen to what I'm given. Or as I point up, you know, some people relate to that, but really, I like to listen to what I'm given and then follow through with that as well. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
So I got an icebreaker question for you first, and you don't even have to write this one down, because we're gonna use that for another reason.
Okay.
What is freedom to you?
Ooh, I got it. Freedom to me is the ability to do what I want, when I want, whenever I want. Like the ability to choose to do this or not do this. Just the freedom of choice, I say, is freedom.
The freedom of choice.
Yeah.
It's freedom.
So it's hard to top that one. Damn.
What you got?
Because I was pretty much going to say the same thing. We try to think of a different way to word it. Because freedom is a choice, right?
It is.
It's freedom is your right to choose between different aspects of your life. You can choose to go down different routes, choose to do different things. I guess freedom can really mean a multitude of things, but at the end of the day, it's the ability to choose your own path, I would say.
You would say the ability to choose your own path, so
I
it's
like
still
that.
choice, freedom of choice.
Yeah.
Are you free?
I'm getting there.
Are
I'm
you
getting
free?
there.
In some aspects, yes. Some no. Let's say no.
Okay. Legit. I'd like to add that freedom is also discipline. Because even though we have the freedom of choice, it's only discipline that will get you to the results that you desire. What do you desire?
You know, I'm not really sure. I know I mentioned the last time I'd like to travel, so I'd like to see the world. But at the end of the day, I desire to have a family and to pass my knowledge on to my family.
What do you desire?
I desire to have choices. I want to be able to choose what I want to do, start a career, end a career, take a different path. I want to be able to make those choices, travel if I feel like it. I want to be able to do those things without somebody being like, you don't have the requirements to do that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to just go ahead and go do it just because I want to.
Now, what does it take to get to those places?
Education and money.
Yeah,
Education and money. Education and money?
education, money. Yeah. And I'd say back to the freedom thing, a little bit of freedom too. You got the freedom to go that route as well.
Okay. So, all right, let's go to the note card right quick. On the line side. And I need 3 things, something similar to what we talked about before. I need 3 things that you would do if you were completely free. 3 things that you would do if you were completely free, what does free look like on you? Think about that.
Keep it interesting so
Right.
people keep watching and everything like that. I mean, it's for me, but
Hey, hey, for your
gotta
own
keep
mind,
the,
you
gotta keep the ADHD mind rolling. You know?
You got your 3?
I think so. They're not perfect, but what comes up, what comes to mind.
All right. Cool. What's your 3 things?
So, number 1, I said travel. Number 2, I said balance, and in quotations, I put spirituality. And then 3, I put money.
Elaborate. So if you were free,
So, if I was free, I would travel more because I want to experience the world that I've been blessed to be in. When it comes to balance, I want my mental and spiritual and physical being to be in alignment. So that's what I mean by balance.
got you.
And then when it comes to money, money is just, it's the world that we live in that is going to keep the cogs turning. So, you know, having that allows freedom to, you know, travel, take the time to get your mentality and your spirituality in balance and everything like that. So I'd say money is a main motivating factor of how to get to that freedom point.
Got you. Alex, what you got?
My first one was the same, travel. I already said the previous one, start a family, and both that and my next one are things I would like to do a little later in life, and the third one is find a place to settle. But I don't think I'd like to do that yet, though. I think that's something to push later on.
Okay. All right, so let me give y'all some context and some storylining behind things as well. As I was speaking with Corey earlier today, I talked about some of my experiences. And one of those experiences, or really one era of experience, was the death of my mother. Was my father being incarcerated for child support. Was going to a Division III school as a FCS recruited athlete for football. Having one scholarship offer after talking to these schools. And the only scholarship offer that I had, the school closed a year later. To have this experience all happen at one time, it made me question my identity, where I was going, and what to do, right? In the midst thereof of still having to live life and choosing to live life, I began to be aware of more things about myself that made me feel as if I had restrictions. Man, I'm at this D3 school. I don't want to be here. Man, my mother passed away. I don't want to be in this situation. I would consider all these things that happened to me. And it made me feel as though I had these weights on me that I had to carry around. It was my fault. I should have done something differently. I should have been here. I should have been this. And I would carry these weights. And if you know anything about lifting weights or doing squats, you can know what it feels like to have a certain amount of weight on your back when you don't necessarily got it and you struggling to pick that weight up. So imagine being under a squat rack with that weight, but you have to walk with the weight and not just simply lift it that one time. So
It's a lot harder.
it does. So in the midst thereof of all these things that were happening, I had to then start to figure out who I was. Well, who am I? What do I believe? What is my standards? What are my expectations? What do I want life to look like? But I also was still experiencing the things I began to take on as if it was me. I'm going through this pain, so this pain is me and I gotta be in it. My father wasn't there, so now I gotta sit here and harbor this aggression and frustration with my father, and I held on to that. I started holding on to things, disregarding the fact that I have a choice in life. We all do. Whether that choice can lead to exactly where we want it to lead to right then and there, we still already have choice. So I ask you, though you have those 3 things listed that you will have, excuse me spitting, those 3 things listed that you have, that you will be, what you will have or do with your freedom, I ask you this, what are 3 things you need to be free from? What are 3 things that you know if you were free from this, you would have that. You would live this way. You would be that person. You would be present in this type of way. What are 3 things you need to be free from?
If I was free from getting wrapped up in other people's opinions, then my self-expression, I think, would flourish more. Yeah.
Go ahead, write it in. Write it in. Write it in.
This is back of the card or in front of the card?
Go back.
Go back.
Yeah, I got another card if we need to switch.
Gotcha.
As y'all write, just consider those things. Put yourself in those states. Are those moments where you felt like, man, I don't have an option. Man, this is going on. I wish this wasn't it. But instead of us just simply being in that space and not knowing or having those feelings, let's look at that space and identify why we felt the way we felt, why we are in the moment we were in, so we can identify how we can overcome the moment instead of dwelling in the moment as just a negative situation. All moments in life can be lessons. Success is a lesson. Failure is a lesson. Losing is a lesson. Gaining is a lesson. All of it. Whether we want to agree with it or believe it or not, it all could be a lesson and we can turn it into that. But what happens is we have these other narrators internally. We have these internal wars, these conflicts within ourselves that disregards us moving in a way to learn from the experience instead of just saying, this thing is happening to me and I'm so upset. Like, I get it's happening, but it's not always just happening to you. It just happens to be happening. It's just life. Because life wasn't told to us that it would just be all easy. Without those things that happen, that's ups, those downs, those trials, tribulations, those ebbs, those flows, those highs, those lows, what type of life experience will we have? Some things we wouldn't even be able to come to the knowledge to if we didn't go through a trial and tribulation. Some of us wouldn't be able to gain the strength if we didn't have trial and tribulation. And why is it that we as people can understand that to go in the gym and to become stronger means to lift weights and for your muscles to tear? But then when we have some struggles in life, it's just like, man, why is this happening? Like you ain't get it. That struggle, that challenge, that pain, that trauma, even though some things we, of course, didn't want to go through, we still can use those things to go through.
As Gabe says, character development.
Yeah.
That's all it
Character
is.
development.
Yeah.
It's all it is, and it may be something that we need to experience.
Gotta get those XP points.
What?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And it changes things. It changes our perspective. It changes how we present ourselves. It changes how we show up for others.
Because now I know how to go at this situation from a different angle.
Yes.
Because I've already experienced it before, or I experienced something similar to it. So now I know how to navigate this situation a little bit better than the first time I encountered it.
That's a fact. And once you know how to navigate what you have went through before, it's no longer yours. Your story is no longer yours. It's meant to be shared with somebody else so they can learn how to navigate.
Right.
We are not meant to live life just in this isolated state. We are social beings.
We gotta share things.
So I share my experiences knowing that I am rewarded too from sharing, but I'm also giving you game that can change your reality as well. So now you got this in your toolbox to say, you know what? You know that dude that came and showed up at Jamaica gave me some information, and it just showed back up right here, right now.
Because I've run into a situation, and it is my responsibility to tell you, inform you about this situation, so that you can avoid it, and
Yes.
you don't have to go through the pain that I went through
Right.
prior.
Right. You know what I mean? So something to consider. So let's talk about it. What's those? Give me one.
Free of the idea there's a time to hit certain milestones. So feeling like,
Woo.
oh, you gotta be like once you're like 25 or 27,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be like married and like
Yeah.
have kids and
That's
have a
actually
stable job and everything like that. Like if we're free from those ideas of that we have to hit those milestones, then we can
That's
understand that our own
I'm gonna write that down.
advancement and our own development, it's our own. Like I'm learning to walk my own path because it's my own path and not anybody else's path. So just free of the idea that there's a time to hit certain milestones.
What's your number one?
So the one that actually kind of comes from internal is self-doubt.
Self-doubt.
Down
Talk
yourself.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, down. So like for instance, it kind of applies to all three, but travel. Thinking I can't do that yet. I don't understand enough language. Why would I travel? You can go to start a family, self-doubt in that aspect too. Am I old enough? And same thing with find a place to settle. Am I old enough? Do I have enough experience to kind of reward myself with that experience? So
Nice.
Those are good.
That's nice.
And that's only the number ones.
yeah.
That's the number ones.
Well, I mean, for
So-
number one, I put free of other people's opinions.
Oh, that was your real
Yeah.
because you already said it. So
Yeah.
you shared the number two.
Yeah.
So do we want to go? I'll let y'all share, and we can start to approach all of those. So what's your third one, and then you gonna share your
My
next
third one is free of restricting social norms. Men can't cry. Men shouldn't cry. Keep your feelings bottled
You
in.
felt that.
Yeah. Yeah. But like those restricting norms that say like, oh, a man is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to do this, like don't cross those lines. Like if we are able to drop those or soften those to be like, it is okay to be a man that knows how to cook. Like there's
Yes.
nothing feminine about that. That's your own survival. There's nothing wrong with a woman doing a hard-working job if that's what she wants to do. If we have
Yeah.
less restricting social norms, then I feel like we would be able to flourish as human beings by being able to really experience what we want to experience.
Got you. Alex, what you got?
I got. So this kind of ties into what Corey was saying, societal expectations.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much the same thing. And then another one I wrote was responsibilities at home. So that kind of revolves more around travel. So stuff I got to take care of here,
Yeah.
which also revolves into my age, right? What have I learned? Have I learned enough to actually do these things effectively and appropriately, right?
Oh, I
That kind of
got
age.
something nice.
Good.
Sometimes you don't even need to be ready to start something.
All right, come on. Hold on. When are you ever ready?
That's a good point.
You can never know when you're ready unless you go into the situation, you're lost, and then you're like, wait, I know how to handle this.
And that ties into self-doubt we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely.
only way to overcome doubt is to do.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The only way to overcome doubt is to do. If doubt is set in front of you, then we have to walk past the doubt. We have to walk through the doubt, to be very much more intentional with my words.
Yeah.
We have to walk through the doubt because we have to prove that the doubt, it really doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So in this, right, I wrote a couple of things down, but this question right here is, who told you that? Who told you that? That the opinions of others matter? Who told you that self-doubt is something that you gotta dwell within? Who told you that you couldn't travel? Who told you that you couldn't start a family?
Right.
Who told you that you couldn't settle somewhere and make it happen from wherever your feet are placed?
Exactly.
Who told you that the societal norms and the restrictions is something you have to answer to?
Right.
And other than who told you that, why did you accept it?
I wasn't able to form my own opinions at the time, but now that I'm older, I can go ahead and form those opinions for myself and take action on it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the answer to most of the questions was because I was younger and had to do as I was told, you know, because it's for your own protection as you're growing up. Like,
Yep.
do as you're told so that you stay safe. But by the time I started to have my own feelings, opinions, and values, that's when I had to learn that other people's opinion doesn't matter. Like the expectation of like millionaire by 21, like that's unrealistic. That's not who I am. Like the social norms, like once I realized that like it is okay for men to cry, it is okay to feel these feelings and have these emotions, like once I was able to figure that out, like that's when I was able to really step into who I am and be like, so these are the feelings and opinions and values that I have, and I'm gonna present that to other people because now I'm informed.
Right.
I hate to interrupt. Kayla's wondering, because she's still about 30 minutes out. She wants to know will this still be going on by the time she gets here.
It'll still be going on by the time we get. Tell Kayla to stay wherever she is. Put it on himself. I like it.
But I say, this is what
You see what I'm doing out here?
Man, I hate this guy.
I got a little bit of hate. But you mentioned the ability now to choose for yourself.
Right.
And to then make your own choices about what you value. And what we talked about earlier in previous sessions, we went over principles and core values. The reality is that we all grow up in an environment. Our household, the neighborhood, the community, and then the school system that we go to. And if we go to church as well. The reality is each place instills within us habits, ideas, and principles, values. Now, all those things will always apply as we get older. But the reality is that sometimes we lack the ability to know what principle to stand by. We lack the ability to see and have the sight to say, this is what I should do, this is where I should be, this is how I should act. Not as if I'm actor, but based upon my behavior in situations and circumstances, this is how I would navigate that. So people generally in our youth give us that guidance. But one of the things we have to have is that always that clear understanding of our power to choose. Because even when somebody gives us good advice, that good advice may not be for the moment that we currently are in. But the only way for us to see that is have some form of discernment. The only way for us to have some form of discernment is to have some form of identity. And in order to have an identity, we have to ask ourselves those questions. We have to spend time with ourselves. We have to actually build a relationship with this being that we are. We have to. If not, our then relationship with self is predicated on what people have, what people don't have, what the economy say we need, what the government say we got to do, what social media says, what that girl I'm interested in says. Because the reality is, for most men, for instance, most, or some, I put it this way, is that we as youth do things for other people. I wear
People
these
pleasers.
clothes, yep, because she said I look good in this. I ain't never grow my hair out because they said it would look funny on me. I ain't never do that because my head was too big. I ain't never go there because they said I shouldn't have went there.
Hey, that's a white person sport. I was met
But
with that.
that's the reality.
But it was what I wanted to do, so I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna keep doing my sport because it makes me happy.
You speak too proper. You from the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
These are realities that people face. The stereotypes. So in that, many of us hold and harbor those stereotypes. We harbor those opinions, and we make those stereotypes and opinions facts. We are the ones that make them facts. The world doesn't make a stereotype a fact. Us believing and choosing to believe in it makes it a fact.
Yeah.
But in order for it to become fact, who has to choose it?
You do. Hold up, I got something in my philosophy notebook.
I'm about to say,
like, literally, it's the same thing. Hold up. Is it this one? No, I was holding it in my hand. Let's see. Yeah.
I pulled my canvas class right now in philosophy. We'll start.
Playing any games.
Yeah.
And
Let's
he's in
see.
the back of it.
Yeah.
He's in the back of the book.
Absolutely. So, knowledge is a belief. So to make a fact, right? You have to have a belief, you know, and then from there that belief has to be true, right? And then once that belief is justified, then that's when somebody can be like, oh yeah, that's a fact. So let's say there's a dog over there in the field. I make the observation, that's a dog.
Yep.
I believe that's a dog. Alex sees it, he believes it's a dog, so that it's justified that it's a dog. So it's a fact that there's a dog in that field. That's a fact.
Oh, since we gonna go there, look, I don't have a problem with impromptu.
Let's do it.
What happens when I come in and I say, that's a cat?
Well, then that gets into your belief. That gets into your belief because not everybody has the same. Not everybody is gonna believe the same thing, and not everybody is gonna accept the same thing as a fact. We can agree that certain things are certain things. Like if I see the color orange, I'm gonna call it an orange, and you're most likely gonna be like, yeah, that's an orange. Like from what I know to be true, that's what we all consider to be an orange. But at the same time, if you think that dog is a cat, that is your personal belief, that is your truth. Me, on the other hand, I know that because of the things that I've been through, the experiences that I've experienced, I believe it's a dog. It's a dog. I've confirmed it's a dog. So in my mind, I think it's true that it's a dog. So then it gets into other people's
For a
own
fact.
personal opinions.
Now I love this. I got a lesson from KRS-One. You know what that is?
No.
You know what that is? Cool. KRS-One is an MC, hip hop artist, master teacher. Used to do a lot of work, and his work is really prevalent in the 80s. He still does a lot of work now. He does a lot of lectures, right? And KRS-One had this very great point. He said everybody, their experience is based on how they see, but your training creates what you see. So, it's so deep.
Yeah.
So if we walk into the student life and leadership room, and you are you're an artist, you paint, you come in and do murals, right? I'm a plumber, right? I come in to make sure everything's flowing, what you don't see behind the boards, right? You're in IT. When we walk into that one room, it's the same room, but all of us are gonna have a different perspective of what that room needs, what needs to be done, what should be done, what it looks like, what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
You saying, yo, we need to move this and this over here so I can really get in here to make this look like that, because the sunlight, when it hits it off the window, it's gonna make this mural pop even more.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
We need to move this over here so I can get these pipes over here.
You
Yeah.
can't move that over there, Because if you do that, that's gonna mess up the lining for these pipes that I put up behind the wall.
Exactly.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So now, if we can all come into this one room and have all different three different perspectives of it, it isn't that somebody's right and or wrong, but this is what we see from our training.
Yeah.
Right.
But the reality is we all have been trained. What have we been trained to believe of ourselves and of this world? So if I'm talking about my training, which is then also my education, now I ain't even talk about school because that's a whole nother gamut of things. But if I'm talking about the education I've received just from having experiences with living this life, I lived in poverty. What is that telling me about me? That if I fall into that narrative, I'm less than, I lack, I don't never know what money is. And when I get money, I spend it immediately because I don't know how to save it or invest it. If I believe in that track, then that's what I exude and I begin to walk. The same thing next, okay, you were raised by a mother who was single. So your life is going to be this based on narratives and stereotypes that try to confirm you to be something, to kind of confirm that this should be your lifestyle and your training. But it's not that. We have to realize that we have the choice to choose
Exactly.
what it is. So some of us don't believe we can do certain things because our overall experiences, the environment, the people have trained us to believe that this is what we should do or this is what we should believe. And the wild thing about it is this. Sometimes that training isn't just prevalent like it's right in front of you. Sometimes a lot of that training, what's going on, is literally underneath. How you doing? It's literally subconsciously. It's literally somebody's marketing this to you. Somebody's saying this through this video. It's not actually being said, but you can see it.
Over time, those ideas are being implanted over your head growing up.
Over and over, that which may not even be real or fact is constantly shared with you to the point where you believe it to be true.
I'll say too, I'd say the difference between history's most evil people and probably heroes of our world are people who use their trauma as an excuse to do bad things. They fall victim to that mindset that you're talking about, where it's an excuse to live by the same morals you were raised in, or they use it to better themselves and become a better person. And that's kind of what you're talking about.
That's
You
all.
have the right to choose to overcome these things before you can fall victim.
That's a fact.
I mean, what makes the difference between a superhero and a supervillain? One was raised correctly, one wasn't.
Well, no, that
Maybe the villain was raised correctly, but they just
They
had
chose not
internal
to.
things going on that were like, nah, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying,
Not
though.
messing with it.
You can choose
Vice
to
versa,
overcome.
you know?
What makes you a hero is the ability to choose to overcome trauma, whether it be external or internal, and do the right thing, or fall victim to it. Is what I'm saying. So it can be external, or you can be raised the best lifestyle ever, but you can still choose to do bad things. But that's you succumbing to those negative thoughts.
Right.
So I'd say that's the difference. Is what you choose. That's what we're going to talk about.
That
what you choose to do.
narrative. You gotta really choose who is running the narrative.
Who in the master center? The master center. Who's in the head
control seat?
Yeah.
Who in the
Yeah.
control seat?
Exactly.
Because we have a choice. It's reality. We have a choice. So a deeper sense, same question then, is if we're talking about freedom, what must we be free from to have internal freedom? Not the internal narrator saying that you can't do that, Alex.
Right.
You can't travel. You can't go here at this age. You need more money before you go there. You gotta go to the military to travel, Alex, because that's your only option. But is it? It's not.
That's like
Why do we then give that life? Huh. Corey, you can't stand in front of these people and stand in your strength and power and show what you really are.
Says who?
Says who? So it's that inner voice that we really have to silence. That's that inner conflict we gotta stop. You looking for me? Am I supposed to be somewhere?
kind of put the camera on there.
Start getting it in evil, so you can,
Hello, y'all. It is.
There you go. Main character.
Gotta have the main character buzz rolling.
He said, "Are we using all of it or what's happening?" I mean, are we
Yeah,
paying
no,
for
this is a
everything
good
out
spot.
of that?
Like, bang, bang, like
Yeah, got the two.
That's you want to cover the food? You take care of the food.
Sounds like
all
Dino
right.
You are, thank you. I'm sorry that I wasn't. Thank you for coming to find me. But what you doing?
What?
He over here posing like, what you got going? Like, yeah.
You'll see it in the reporting, you know?
But the reality is, gentlemen, I want us to move without the inner restrictions, because whatever we have internally is going to show externally. Our doubts show up. Our disbelief shows up. Our trauma shows up. Our pain shows up. Our belief shows up. Our confidence shows up. Anything internal, it will show externally. It will. At one point, at some point in time in life, whatever going on in here is going to show up out here. If somebody said, you probably ain't going to like this, but whatever you experiencing in life, you experience it because you want it. Imagine that.
So
Imagine.
you choose to live your life, yeah.
Imagine you living a life and you talk about how miserable you feel, but then somebody tells you, oh, you chose that.
I mean, that's one of those reality checks that you have to go through at some point to be like, oh, I guess it is time for me to accept responsibility for my own actions, because
It is what it is.
if I didn't choose to go out the door today, then, you know, the bad situation that happened, you know, like, it wouldn't have happened. But people have to understand that because they were the ones to go ahead and take the first step out the door, like, they are responsible for the things that come to them. They can't just be like, nah, it
I'm sick to
wasn't.
talk to you.
It wasn't my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, do you want your phone?
I'll stand up here.
Okay.
I'll stand up here now. Roles reverse.
I don't have no problem with that. Now, there's parts of us that we don't mention. Why do you really have self-doubt?
What do I really want?
Why do you really have self-doubt? And I don't need you to answer it. I need you to consider it. Why do you really listen to opinions? Reality is we all have been through something that we don't share with others, that we don't let the world know. And we have that experience that then we had it, and it still sits and festers and shows up when we are deciding to be a better version, greater version, or something that is not that we are not used to appearing as. And it shows back up. And it says, no, you ain't that. You remember when? Oh, you still the one that had this happen. You still the little boy that seen his mother get hit and couldn't do nothing. These type of things, they literally will hold on to us. And so now when we talk about freedom, when people hear it, they might think about the freedom to have things, to have money, to acquire something. But the reality is the freedom that we need to be able to do the things externally is the freedom that comes from within us, knowing our being able to take responsibility for what we did and what we didn't do. Being able to take accountability for what somebody else did and what we didn't do as well. Because ultimately, even though others impact our lives, it's still our responsibility, and it's on us to take accountability to make a decision on what we will be. My father disappears. It's not his fault. How do you get to that point? It ain't even your fault, bro. You know how I got to that point? Where your daddy at? Oh man, my dad ain't want nothing to do with me. Oh. So now I'm trying to get you to be something that you don't even know what it looks like. So I made up in my mind that you should be this variation of you, and you don't even see yourself as this variation of you. I have to take accountability for that. I made that thought.
Right.
I did that.
That's my bad for putting you on a pedestal when you didn't even deserve to be on a pedestal.
It's not even that you didn't deserve it. But how can you know what you deserve if you didn't even know that you existed and showed up that way in my mind? You didn't know you was a superhero in my mind. You ain't know that you could do all things in my mind. You ain't know that I looked at you like the one that had the answers to everything in my mind. I just thought you knew. I just thought you knew how much I admired you. But now I realize that never was explained from that 8-year-old boy, that 9-year-old boy, because that 8-year-old boy, that 9-year-old boy didn't know how to explain that to you. And maybe you weren't aware enough to see how much you played that part in my life. But now that I created this image and I created this world, it was falsified, it was fabricated because it wasn't true. It's not that I need to go and hold and harbor anger with him and say, you didn't deserve that. I need to say, you know what? That wasn't what you were. I need to see you and value you for what you are, not what I desire you to be. And though I see the greatness in you, I will not hold you to the standard of the greatness I see because you don't even have a standard for yourself. Do you deserve to be great? Yes, you sure do. Do you deserve to be the most phenomenal person? Yes, you do. I can't take none of that from you. But I know for my mental and my inner war that I have, I need to take responsibility for me putting you in a place where you don't even know what that looks like. That's the world I created. So if I created a world for you, what more of a world have I created for myself? Or what have I allowed in my own inner being to be true and factual that stops me from showing up and being everything I'm supposed to be?
I feel like if you can create a world surrounding somebody else, but you can't create a world for yourself where like you are the superhero, like you are the one going out making things happen, like you're the winner at the end of the day. If you can't make that own world for yourself, but you can do it for somebody else, you're in the wrong position. Because like you need to be able to get yourself feeling the way that you should be feeling. Like you should feel confident, you should feel strong, you should feel proud of who you are, who you're presenting to everybody else. You should feel confidence in that. But if you don't and you put that value onto somebody else, then that's a problem. Like you need to take a couple steps backwards and do that for yourself before you can even think of doing that to somebody else.
Live by your own code.
Exactly.
Now, why does this world prefer us not to be confident?
Because people like control, and if they see that you don't have that confidence, that power to be like, no, I'm not standing for it. Like this is the level that I operate at, and you're expecting me to work here. That doesn't fly with me. So no, I'm not going to do it. But if I don't have the power or the knowledge to say those types of things, then they're going to be like, listen, I need you to go line up those rocks, okay? Go line up those rocks. That is in your job description. Go do it. If I don't know any better, then I'll be like, yep, let's go organize those rocks. Like that's all there is to it. But knowing that you have your own power, your own strength, your own confidence, then that allows you freedom. That allows you to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I am going to go do this because this is my standard of working.
Now let me be clear when I talk about freedom too. Let's be very clear. I'm gonna say it again. Freedom requires discipline. The idea of freedom of what the world may give you, because it's really not that they shift and go opposite completely. It's not that. Confusion and chaos does a great job of manipulating what may have been true and making it seem and bend and folded another way for you to perceive it differently. Freedom is not that now I'm not under the household of my family and I ain't got to follow those rules, so I'm about to go out here and drink myself under the table. That ain't freedom.
Yeah.
That's a false narrative that somebody else got you caught up to believe that, yo, freedom is now that we get to do this. We up all night. I ain't got to go to sleep. I don't have a bedtime. No, your parents was giving you some indication on how you're going to be able to wake up in the morning and still make some things happen for yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to choose to then go stay up all night. That's your choice. But don't sit here and try to blame them saying, like, you gave me these restrictions. Well, that really wasn't the case. We got to have a discernment between the two. Because sometimes they put restrictions on us. They were like, you know what? That didn't make sense. For instance, on one case, never talk to strangers make a whole lot of sense. On another case, it makes
Trying to
no
network,
sense.
if you're trying to network and make some connections, like that is the complete opposite of what you have to do.
Exactly. You go into a networking event and you talk about, I don't talk to strangers.
So
Well,
what are you doing?
so what are you
here?
here? What are you doing here?
here?
You shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Now, if you happen to be in a neighborhood you ain't never been in a part of a place where you feel is a little awkward, energy a little off, people look like they want to do some hurt, harm, or danger to you, and you go over there like, man, hey, what's up? What's going on? Guess what? You about to find yourself in the back of a white van, right? So,
Why are you being weird?
right, like, you got to be clear. You know what I mean? So we have to be aware that discipline is freedom and freedom is discipline. In order to get the things we desire, we're going to have some form of discipline to acquire it. Now, I got a question for both of y'all. Since you standing, you're going first. Do you show up in this world the way you want to show up?
I've been working for the past 2 years on showing up the way that I want people to see me. So I've been working with every step I take, I'm leading with confidence, I'm stepping with power. So at this point, I would be confident saying like I'm 85% like at the point where I'm like, yes, this is who I am, and I'm proud to present this to other people because this is me. This is who I am. This is my story. So I'm almost there, but I'm still working towards it because there's things that I gotta revisit and fix so that I can 100% be that person that's just like, yeah, this is who I am. This is my story. This is what I got to contribute. If you like it, cool. If not, hey, I wish you the best, but I'm going that way.
Good. Alex, oh yeah, go on, stand up, my guy.
Oh, stand up.
Yeah,
We gotta get in the angle.
We in here now.
I'm in the recording. And
I saw the good look where it's like,
yeah.
Game start here, and then you start like everything starts to rise. Like what you looking at, like? But and then it's like the light
Kayla
bulb.
does too.
Oh,
She'll be
bro.
like,
She's hilarious, bro. She'll be having that thing right here. Like, Kayla, what you got going on? Oh, nothing. Stop lying.
Exactly.
Every time. No, it's right there. We see it. We see you like, or when she don't agree with something, like, what's up?
yeah.
same answer, nothing.
Right, I see it. Like, you can't lie. We looking dead at you. But
Oh my.
so, in the basis of today, I'm gonna say gentlemen. Now I gotta open up and be more broader. In the basis of today, y'all, though we wish to acquire freedom, on one aspect we have to realize we already are free. The second thing is, in the aspect of being free, we have to make the conscious decision of what freedom looks like and allowing ourselves to free ourselves from those things that attach to us and that we allow. Some of those things were given to us and we had no choice. We had no choice. Literally, the environment we came up in, we had no choice to choose this thing that we held on to and that became a part of our being. We had no choice. And we have to take accountability for that, even though we weren't the ones that said this is it. Because if we don't take accountability for that, how does it grow, shift, or change? Other things, as we got older and had the power of choice, we have to realize what we allowed. I allowed myself to think, you know what, Timon, you should never grow locks because your mother didn't want your hair to grow long. Like, you had these opinions, so you just never did it.
Honestly, same. My mom was always cutting my hair. Always cutting my hair. So then once I got to that point where I could make my own decision, I was like, I'm going to let it grow out. I'm going to get my hair braided, and then from there, I'm going to get my hair locked up.
So one of the things that I did, right, which was important for me, is when I did this whole journey with locks. Going great, what's up? How you doing? Oh, ain't nothing, we just doing some development, that's all.
Okay, wonderful weather too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's why we out here, we want to take full advantage of it.
Yep. Please do.
Yeah, so hopefully some other people come out and take advantage of it too. it takes somebody to lead the way.
We gotta set the precedent. you
Yeah,
know?
somebody gonna see it. We'll lead the chairs here.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, you know. I ain't gonna say Friday, cause you be here Friday. I won't be here Friday.
I'm doing setup.
Well, maybe you'll see somebody on Friday, like
Maybe.
in the chair. But,
I'll be here
you
briefly.
know,
But do when we pull back to you.
yeah, let me know. Let me know. Hopefully, we said it. You know, the library here, they see us. Can't see them. They can't see them, but they see us.
Library closed at noon
So, you
on
know,
Friday.
but I'm talking about them right now. They see us.
Yeah.
So maybe they inspired to come outside. Right, look. Right, exactly. Let me start waving. Somebody's staring. Let me wave back at you. But, you know, that's it. Just taking full advantage of being out here. The worst thing to do is sit in your office all day. That's the worst.
Go touch some grass.
What?
Touch some grass.
That's a message.
Touch some grass.
Put it on the shirt. They'll be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, touch some grass.
I mean exactly what I'm telling you.
touch some grass.
Don't you stay over there on this computer all day or looking at the screen.
Breathe in the air.
Right.
Touch some grass.
So yeah, that's it. We just out here doing development. Usually we in that building or in the room and looking outside. But why
I'm
not
so
be
glad
outside?
y'all are touching grass.
Yes, sir.
We're
Yes, sir.
expanding our
All in the
minds and
grass.
our personalities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You as well.
Expanding our mind and expanding our personalities.
So this
I knew I hit.
So this is what I want to say to y'all. This is why I talk about being free from stains. Stains. What is that? Stains?
Thanks.
Free from stains with an S. what do you need to be free from? Some stains?
That's what I'm saying.
This is what I mean, right? They walk over. She had already walked by with the other officer, correct? Y'all see it? Yeah. Now this new officer's in walking with her. She's a trainee. I already met her this morning. This is how I point out that we need to be free from things. Because I want to give y'all a real moment, in the moment. As they walking over, there's one thought that goes in my head like, what do they want? Why are you walking over me? And I immediately had to silence that thought. Because why am I thinking that way?
We're not doing anything wrong. So like, why are we being apprehensive?
Where does that thought come from? It didn't come because it's natural. Comes from when it's trained. And this is a reality that everybody don't want to go into the depths of. But your heritage, who came before you, can put within you certain things that you then act on or move with. What I mean by that is, you see an officer, black man. That's not saying that you don't go through this, but the officer was the overseer. Y'all know what an overseer is? That one that was on the plantation on the horse watching those that were enslaved pick cotton.
The slave catchers.
Or that plantation that actually wasn't the cotton plantation, but was the breeding plantation. Overseer sat there to catch those that would run and keep the order. So whether it's believed or not, certain things can be passed down within you to ultimately have some type of apprehension when it appears. That might be my experience, but guess what? I'm pretty sure you still have an experience when you driving and you see them red and blue lights come behind you. I put money on it and like, oh, everything's good. You like, dang. Was I speed? Like, you looking in the mirror like, make sure my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
That's right. Hands are showing. Dang. Because it produces certain feelings.
Right.
Something to give more depth to that, make it more real. There was a study done on mice. They put mice in mazes a lot, don't they?
Yeah.
In the study, they had the smell of cherry blossom, and they had some shockers, like laser shockers in there, or not laser, but more so electric shock. And then they had, of course, like something like cheese or something. They had the cheese in one part of the, using cheese for lack of better terms, it probably wasn't cheese. But they have cheese in one part of the maze and the mice look to find it, or the mouse. The mouse looks to find the cheese. When the mouse gets closer to the cheese, the smell of cherry blossom is pushed into the maze. And then the whole maze, being metal or whatever, is shocked. Smell comes, they're getting closer to the cheese. Smell comes,
Pavlovian response.
Beep. so they kept doing it. And then they had those mouse, now mice we're talking about, mate to produce offspring.
So the kids were just like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
kids were getting
I'm
it
not
too.
doing
They'd
it.
smell the cherry blossom. Yeah.
But then there was probably no reactions, no nothing, and they kind of put themselves in their own mental jail because they're like, we've been told all this time that we can't do it, and none of us are willing to even go try to see if that's still the case. So then everybody's just stuck and trapped because they're like, well, I'm not gonna do it. Well, I'm not gonna do it either.
Hardwired, program, trained. That now this cherry blossom means something bad is about to happen. Now that officer means something bad is about to happen. So the look goes, hell you coming over here for? But that one narrator gets stumped out by the true narrator. I know what I am, I know who I am, and I know I stand for everything that is real, that is righteous, and that is true. I'm not wrong for being right here, and I'm good. So now that apprehension goes to, no, get your life together. Speak with boldness and confidence, not with like you in fear or scared or nervous. Hey, how y'all doing? Man, we doing good. We just going, we enjoying the weather, doing some development. Reality is, some of us can't even get to that point to really acknowledge those inner voices in us. We just fall circumstance to the one. That's why people have those moments. And when we have conflict, that's the issue. One of the real things today I want to talk about is conflict resolution. Reality is, this is conflict resolution. Because in order to resolve a conflict, we first have to resolve our inner wars and inner narratives that pop up in our mind, because these are the same things that we go into issues with and share. So, yeah, something to consider. So I end off with this. Now I ask y'all again, what do you need to be free from? And not for you to share. For you to really consider it. For you to ponder on it. And then if you choose to do this exercise, it's up to you. I have more no cons. There's probably things that you have experienced that you need to be free from, but you don't want to share. Some real things that you really need to throw in the trash. Some real training that you know is not right that you need to let go. Some narratives that you need to let go. If you wish, you can have a card. The exercises, you write it, you make it plain, you write it out truthfully, and then you throw it in the trash. Sometimes you gotta bring things out to the physical. Look at it and acknowledge it and say, you know what? This ain't even me no more. So, would anybody like a card?
I'll take.
Take one and pass it back. Like they used to do. Would you like a card, man?
Dina's over here
It's
playing
okay.
with the ladybug.
It's okay. She made it seem like it was wrong. Oh, yeah. You didn't see me over here messing with this ladybug.
I was just looking at it.
Your chord's hilarious. Chord's hilarious. I already know what time it is. He is set up. Let me. He about to talk to the camera right now. He ain't even talking to us.
So guys, that is the end of professional development. You know, we had a good session. I learned some good things. Personality,
we're still there.
you know. Got that wisdom rolling. Alex, what do you think?
It's pretty good.
All right, that's all we need to hear.
Every time.
Hey, a win is a win.
Bruh.
All right, I will check in with y'all later.
How you doing today, Dina?
I was here earlier, I had class, and I left, and I came back.
I said, you're a Jets fan?
I will check in after work. Alrighty then. So, just finished up work. Got a nice little 4 to 9:30, you know. Today was it was pretty eventful, I can't even lie. Like, I walked in and it was a slight chaos, but you know, we did our job, we got everything done, got these people served, fed, happy. Good day in my book. Like, check it off the list. Have a good day, checked it off the list, you know. What else? Great conversations today. Like, it was super chatty, like just straight yapping, bro. But it was good. It was really good. Now it is time to go to the gym. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym and then record that workout, and I'll check back in later. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right, time to go to the gym, get a sick pump, and then go home, eat some food, and crash out for the night. Sounds like a good plan to me. All right, I will see you guys at the gym. Deuces.
Fresh up?
Almost done. I was just thinking, I should start adding fourth wall breaks. Yes. I did one yesterday, like I had my phone on the ground and then I just hit record and I was like, what are you doing on the floor? It's time to work out. No time for napping.
Let's go.
Oh my god. Make it feel like I'm on a reality show, you know, just like say something funny and then just look at the camera just Okie dokie, let's get this workout started. Nick, are you ready for this workout?
I was gonna run, but I think I smoked too many cigarettes.
It'd be like that sometimes. Alright, let's get this rolling.
Running right now just makes me like,
It's time for a workout montage. Yeah.
save a little incentive. You don't even want to go full exhaustion.
What day is it? It's back day. It's back day.
Solid. There you go. Squeeze at the bottom. Bam. Slow negative. There you go. Bam. Bam.
Slow, very slow negative.
There you go. And high chest.
Alrighty then. So that's the workout. We finished up feeling tired, exhausted. Well then, on that note, we are gonna wrap up the night and I will see you in the morning. And we gotta do a good outro. That's the best part. Good night.